listening about communication planning and event organizing.
Baby, you're my sun and moon. Girl, you're everything between. A lot of pretty faces could waste my time, but you're my dream, girl. You make flowers bloom. Girl, you make the stars collide. And I don't know what I did to get lucky like this, but it sure feels fine.
So, what is communication planning? Communication planning will represent the dedication of an organization to transparent and ongoing relationship with your audiences. This is also a need assessment to prevent a serious problems that may risk the health and safety of the people. It defines the ways and means of communication to connect to your target audiences, to change their behaviors in creating communication plan. This is called the Communications Requirements Analysis. Your project must produce a lot of information and you don't want to overwhelm your stakeholders with all of it because your job is to figure out what they feel is valuable. Communication valuable information does not mean that you always paint a rosy picture. Oops! I'm not talking about rosy cheeks. I just want you to know that if you create this plan, it must be a promising, encouraging, optimistic, and hopeful that it can help possibly to support and give assistance if it's needed, like farmers' problem in drought and others. Communication to stakeholders may consist of either good news or bad news. The point is that you don't want to cover stakeholders with too much information, but you don't want to give them enough so that they are informed and can make appropriate decisions. We all know that stakeholders or our target audience can have interest with your communication plan if they can benefit from it, and also they can participate or be involved in the plan that you can propose them that it is used, because this will tested approved by the expert. Why is communication planning is important? This is important because through the communication planning, it will help you to identify who you need to reach, tell them what you want them to know, and how you to reach them, to clarify the relationship between the audiences, message, channels, and materials. Of course, you need to guide your process to make your communication plan effective. In order for you to understand what I am talking about, you need to listen the 5 steps for effective communication planning that I can share to you. This strategy will help you to prepare an audience-focused communication plan to make sure to get your message heard. Step 1. Understand your objectives. Be clear about your overall communication objectives. What do you want to achieve, when, and why? So, in this step, we need the SMART goals that I discuss for you. So, what are SMART goals? SMART goals are part of every aspect of business, life, organization to provide a sense of direction, motivation, and clear focus to clarify of importance. Now, by setting goals, you are providing yourself with a target to aim for. SMART goals is used to help you by guiding your goal setting. Therefore, SMART goals incorporates all of these criteria to help focus your efforts in increasing the chances of achieving your goal. This SMART goal stands for S For specific, it will define, clear, and unambiguous. M for measurable, means with specific criteria that measures your progress towards the accomplishment of the goal. A for attainable and not impossible to achieve. R is for realistic, which means within reach, realistic, and relevant to your life purpose. And T is for timely, with a clearly defined timeline, including starting a date and a target date. The purpose here is to create urgency. The specific SMART goals are having a significant greater chance of being accomplished. And to make a goal specific, you need to consider the 5 W's question. The who, what, where, when, and why. Who is the person involved in this goal? Or who is your target audience? What is the things I want to achieve or I want to accomplish? Where is the location of this goal to be achieved? When is the date and time I want to achieve this goal? Why do I want to achieve this goal? The SMART goals are very relevant in communication planning, as it was all needed for research or theory to work and benefit its target audience. This is knowing your goal that you want to achieve until when it will be used and why you want to do this plan. Your objectives are your guidance in order not lose the direction of your communication plan, because it will be useful if your objectives are not connected in your communication plan. For example, in farming, it is knowing about the purpose or goal in order to understand how this communication plan about farmers may help them to prevent these problems when they are in their cropping stage. There are a lot of solutions that the government is establishing for the farmers to gain and prevent losing crops. Step 2. Understand your audiences. Now, identify and list the different audiences. This can initially seem quite difficult for all. However, the simplest in creating communication plan, and it is good to use stakeholders analysis to identify who to need to communicate with and why. This is some tip in doing this step 2. Think of audiences as a groups that you need to communicate with. For example, here, if you want to create communication plan for farming, so your target audiences are farmers. Make them as you prioritize them because they are your target beneficiary for your communication plan. It is not appropriate if you have different audiences because they will not understand the solution that you are talking about in your communication plan. With the participation that will benefit it, like in the agriculture sector that you target. Of course, you need to understand your target audience because we have different attitudes and behaviors of people that have the capacity of understanding, because sometimes we misinterpret different decisions that we receive. So, we need to observe first. Step 3. Choose the right channels. Once you have clarified your objectives that get a full of understanding of the different audiences that you need to communicate with, it's time to choose the most appropriate channel for delivering your message. You can rely on these types of communication channel like videos, flyers, tarpaulin, posters, and PowerPoint for seminars. In choosing the right channels, you have to know your target audience. Of course, you need to choose appropriate channels for your audiences, and it must be related to the materials that you will facilitate. Step 4. Planning your message. Now, you have to decide which channels to use. Drill down into your communication objectives and clarify specific objectives for each audiences. For example, of an advertisement campaign of Coca-Cola and using hashtag #ShareACoke. Coca-Cola is the one I may give as an example because this advertisement is for family, friends, and relatives as the so-called Fest with Coke makes families unite and eat together. May magic ang bawat salo-salo. Masarapin ang kainan at home with Coca-Cola. You have definitely how this creates strong bonds to the family when they eat. This is how powerful the channels might be to influence you, as the jingle may enchant you as you hear or watch it on your television. So, you need to dig deeper or plan the message that you want to use before using channels that may be received by your audiences. As you consider each audiences in turn, ask the following questions for your audiences. You can go back to the farmers as your target audience. What does the audience need and want to know? So, you have to relate to your audience the information that they need about farming because your audience is the farmers. So, you can ask questions like the following. When do we need to communicate with farmers? You need to know the right timing to communicate with your audiences. What is the preferred channels for reaching the farmers? You must think of the best way to reach out and have the choice the appropriate channels that you prefer to use. What is the most effective way to get your message for your target audience? You need to think of important ways that we give the impact to the message that you want to communicate. Make sure to add up if you think it can help for your message to meet the audience objectives. Here's the tip in making communication plan. Planning your communication so that the individual will receive the right information and scrolling so that your audience will not be confused by the different message that they receive. You need a proper information dissemination and also plan about your target audience like the farmers because it is not applicable if the street sweeper, tricycle driver will become your audience as they're no common at all. Their knowledge and work is different and also their responsibilities. Step 5. Monitor effectiveness. It's good to get feedback on the communication that you have planned and implemented. Ask people from different audiences like farmers how you are doing. Check if they understand the message and you need them to hear about their reactions and reflections to your communication plan. Let's move on to the next lesson where my partner, Miss Helen Tinaha, will discuss.
Thank you, partner. Well, let's move on to another discussion and I will share with you about event organizing. We always celebrate the different events that happen in our life like birthdays, debut, wedding days, and others. However, if you want to be the one who will organize it, then you need tips for organizing a successful event. Now, what is an event plan? Well, an event plan is a guide for all the components or parts of your event. It is useful for you to know that the flow of your event, as you are the one who plans for it. It decorates these elements against SMART goals or SMART goals. So this event organizing does not need a SMART goal because it is not a research to find existing theories, because all you need to do here is organize, design, and layout of the place, or that all is need to be prepared for the event happens. Your event plan keeps you on track and can serve you as guide as you prepare for the day of your event. So you always make sure that you settle and ready for backup plans in order to achieve your goals for the event. For example, if you are a wedding planner or organizer, you have a theme for catering, decorations, or the layouts and sound system and others. And yeah, organizing an event is not a simple task, but you must exert effort on it because you are the one who plans for it. And I will share with you the 10 key points that you should keep in mind for everything to go well. First is define the purpose and format. As an organizer, this must be in need because you need to know the purpose why that event will happen. Create your own format that will propose to your client that they may choose. If they were interested, then other themes will follow because the customers is always right. The format of the event sometimes depends on their answers in order to do its concept, timing and duration, rule of distribution within the team, and the layout of the hall, as well as the catering and the sounds. In here, you are the one who will negotiate, like in catering services, lights and sound system and others. You need also to know every detail so that you can figure out what is the best theme for the wedding and what are the things that are needed so that you can create your own format. Because sometimes we cannot avoid what the couple wants for their wedding because they are your client, and what they want to happen must be prioritized first because it's their big day. It's their big day. So you should follow or prioritize their suggestion and listen to them. If that their wish granted, because you are the one who will make it their fairy tale possible. Now, if you want to be creative, try not to get stuck in traditional format. Take a look at different formats that may help you, like TED format, thematic branches, online events, open air events, and many more. You can make it if you are not following any formats, and there will be a tendency that you may disappoint your clients. Second one is pay sufficient attention to planning. The plan should include logistic or the planning content and the promotion of the event. Create a document available to the entire team where each member would be able to see the task of the others. This will be, this is useful so that team will know the responsibilities to make the event work as they were assigned. Well, it is important for that the team is assigned to different tasks that can do their jobs when there may be a problem that the customer will encounter at the event. So, dapat nga team, kasi kailangan lahat ng team mo ay may responsibilities na kailangan lang gawin for that wedding preparation at kasama silang lahat sa magiging outcome ng event na yon. And to make it possible, you have to prepare list of the main tasks and then flesh them out in much details as possible in the form of specific steps that must be completed. So it is important to designate to your team the framework in your plan for the required time for completing the task. So in here, you can use Google templates or programs such as Asana, Trello, Podio, Team Week for planning, and etc. So even even simple Excel will help you to achieve your goal. The third one is draft your budget taking into account. It is like the weather is against the two lover, the like the world between us. So we had to immediately change the location and transport all the equipments and furniture. But it is with you to use a weather application if your phone to check if the weather is that day is good for the big day of your client. However, sometimes expect the unexpected scenarios that can arise. So dapat advance tayo mag-isip kasi kailangan natin i-budget ang pera ng walang labis at walang kulang para sa ating client as a wedding planner. So as an option, you can use a budget template if you want to or adapt it or create your own template para magawa mo ng maayos ang plan mo. For the fourth one is the devil is in the details. Devil. So if you want to pleasantly surprise your guests, think about everything down to the smallest details. Kung sasabihan ng client mo na ikaw na bahala sa lahat ng gagawin, nagbigay sila ng theme sa'yo, then the details about sa gusto nilang mangyari sa wedding nila, your part here is to make it possible according to your client's wants and wish to make it possible come true. Although we know sometimes there is misunderstandings in agreement that can make you in trouble. Now, here the possible details on your plan. Number one is how they will enter the events. Of course, through invitations that meron kang ka-team na naka-assign sa task na yan. So, number two is who will greet the participants or the visitors of the wedding. So in here, there are one or two that welcomes and greet the visitors while entering the event place or the wedding's reception. Number three is what music will be playing. So, if you want to satisfy your client, you have to choose a music according to their request or sometimes fit to the occasion. Sometimes request of visitors is powerful as other visitors will go in to the dance floor like they will enjoy the music that plays. So number four is, do you have an interesting photo corner? So it is most important, it is the most important day of the two couple because it is the memories that they will look back after a year. So pictures always tell stories about, you can see through angles, reactions of faces and the mood of the place, which can encourage you to have a selfie or a groovy of that particular event as a souvenir. Number five is, how do your presentations look and how is your team dressed? So in here, by making the event presentable, like the themes and the ambience of the event, and ambience of the place, complement each other. Also, the decoration and all of your team must where assigned their task must look presentable as they wear their uniforms and go to their designated areas as will stand by as a reliever for helping for other teams if they will need to. So number 6 is, what do you do during breaks? In here, you make sure to have a comfortable area or room to your team in case they were tired, and this will be another employee na sasalpak as reliever para naman makapag-recharge ang isa, kasi mahirap naman lalo na kung sa catering na naka-assign, mahirap yung trabaho dyan kasi di mo maiiwasan na mahaba yung preparation from the venue to the event until matapos ang occasion. So madalas inaabot ng gabi, kaya dapat meron silang enough na rest. So the 5th one is check the location and have a plan B. So in here, you must always check the location in person as early as the selection stage. Because at the most unexpected moment, there is a tendency that the air conditioning couldn't turn out and doesn't work properly in the hall. So check as early as you could. Also, check if there are no toilets for the disabled guests. If meron man, mas sumabuti na rin yung advance. And or for the equipment that won't get through the door. So therefore, check such issues in advance so that there will be no problems at all. For example, the wedding happens in an open air space for 50 people, and an hour before the wedding starts in the garden. However, it rains. So always have a plan B for any unexpected situation. So it is better to plan another possible space for the wedding near to your first choice area. So that all the guests and equipments will transfer immediately and can quickly prepare the setups for it. And so number 6 is allocate responsibilities. In here, it is very important to distribute tasks among the team members, not only at the preparation stage but also during the event. As I told it earlier for the second one about the sufficient attention planning, in the first place, it must be distributed before the wedding so that they will know where they are assigned or been scheduled, and distributed responsibilities or duties by zone, and there are reserve employees for taking as a reliever for others to rest. For example, in wedding venue, someone is responsible for the checking, for the invitations of the wedding, greeting the visitors that enters the venue, and other duties is for the equipment, for catering, and for entertaining the visitors so that they will not be bored. And yeah, every person needs to have his or her zone, which he or she should be responsible throughout the entire duration of the event. You have to be strict on it in distributing the task, but friendly to your team to achieve your goal. Give each member of the team a document with the assigned responsibilities. Provide also yourself every details on your preparation, and have a contact of each team so that you know who to contact for any specific issues. You can also create codes if you want, and your team can only know or understand. For the 7th one is tell your audience about the event. So do not underestimate the time required for the successful promotion of an event. Avoid Filipino time sa mga ganitong event kasi importante ito sa taong nagtiwala na gawin ang event na gusto nila. So, make it on time to impress your client. And also avoid our so-called Filipino time for this event. Instead, use times gold to manage everything, and it is important that people who gives trust in you will never regret on choosing you to organize their event. Express not to impress. You must keep in mind that the event you had organized will speak for you, as the people will remember it and amaze, so that they will recognize, they will organize, they will offer you for another event or refer you to their friends. In here I can share with you some possible types of event, like that's target audience, internal resources, and all the budget that determine your marketing approach. So when choosing your media partners, focus to those people who target the audience. So it is better to have partners but target ones that focus to your goals rather than to those people that talking about nonsense. So it is really important to create 1K message that will be broadcast on all your channels. So, pwede kang gumamit ng sa Facebook, at gumawa ka ng Facebook page na makikita ng mga public na ang mga post mo sa na-organize mo na event. So, and make it sure it is a brief and it is on target and conveys the ideas of the event to your audience. Because your message must be related on your track as an organizer or as a wedding planner ka. You must know on how to create plans in organizing the event. Number 8 is pay attention to service. Make sure that your team follows the duck face rule or your instruction to them. This rule states that on the outside you should look calm and peaceful. Be friendly to your participants and speakers and also to your partners. They will understand you because it is hard to accomplish tasks in organizing an event, because every mistake you have committed can make your reputation fall out, but you must accept and admit it. Try to address their problems or questions whether you don't meet their expectations, and even if you are tired, you feel tired, and not everything runs to plan, but it's the one of the rule that stay calm to every unexpected situation, because at the end of the day, what people remembered is how they were treated and being comfortable at the atmosphere of the event. Not what the speaker was saying on the stage. So, kapag ang audience mo ay komportable and relaxing sa ambience ng venue, hindi ka mapapahiya. Even if sometimes you cannot reach your client's expectation. So, dito mo makikita yung sinasabing expectation versus reality. But because of all experiences, you can learn a lot and develop your skills. So, number 9 is carry out a final check 24 hours before the event. So, in here, make sure that you've informed the participants of how to get the location, that you had invited all the participants, important guests, and prepared the printed materials as well as audio and video content. So, check also everyone on your team if she or he understands the giving tasks and responsibilities, and check if if the space is ready. For this purpose, you can draft a checklist like this one. Similar checklist can be drafted for the checking preparation of the day of the event. So whether everything is in place and if it is being done on time. So be sure also to print out the event program invitation. Let each member of the team and volunteers have a copy of it. Kung may wedding event na gaganapin, you need to check everything that you can secure, and you need also to do testing of equipments, and make sure also you have a backup in case there will be a problems to encounter. Always remind also your staffs on the task that they might to do. In addition, give everyone the main contact phone number for communication with one another in the event of in case of emergency. So the last one, number 10, is ask for feedback. In here, you're probably going to be tired and happy after the event, but it will be difficult for you to give an objective assessment of how it all went. So you need to know the feedback of your client if they are satisfied or not. And you may ask some participants or the visitors to complete or fill out a printed evaluation form at the end of the event, or online form after the event, like webinars, seminars, and other programs that need to evaluate. Ask them to assess various aspects of the event like logistics, speakers, how's the location, and the work of the organizers. So this information will help you to avoid mistakes in the future and improve the quality of your event. So if possible, get a feedback through social networks like record video reviews at the end of an event. And this will come handy for you for the next project. Di mo naman maiiwasan ng mga problema sa mga plano mo, but it will help you to improve your skill and you can learn from your previous project. Also open for suggestions ng guest or ng feedback nila kung satisfied mga nangyayari sa event na yon, kasi kanya-kanya kasi tayo ng way of appreciation. So, whatever event you organize, be optimistic, don't be afraid of surprises, and your event will be success.
Thank you for